today on this stage, and it's going to be intriguing. So over the last few hours we've had product, we've unboxed it, we've given our opinions, but how do you stand out in this field when pretty much everyone has an opinion and something to say? What we're going to hear now is from people who do this at the top of their game. This is the biggest level, this is as big as it can get on the platform of YouTube. So we're going to talk about that entire process and what it takes to get to that level. So can you please welcome to the stage Kris Carlon from Android Authority and Keaton Keller from TechSmartt.
Yeah, this is good. You can go anywhere you like. Get
middle.
Get comfy. Go in the middle. So we have a very big couch for a very big guest. So Keaton Keller from TechSmartt. I think, first off, I think one of the easiest ways to start is to talk about the problem with tech reviews. There's a lot of, if you read Reddit, a lot of the comments on the internet, it's tech reviews are boring. All the phones are the same. Everyone says the same thing. No one does anything different. And I think it's very obvious that Keaton does do things differently. If you've ever looked at his channel, I think the latest video on your channel is the boring company flamethrower versus the iPhone XR.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that and how it is that you've approached making tech reviews interesting on YouTube?
Sure, yeah. So to give you guys a background about myself, I'm Keaton. I am the creator of TechSmartt. I got started on YouTube in 2007, this channel in 2010. So I've basically grown up with digital media. And kind of the video that Kris is referencing and TechSmartt, the channel, it's really a different tech channel. We pride ourselves with entertainment at the foreground and then really the tech in the background. And that works effectively well for brands trying to reach that younger audience by hitting entertainment first and providing almost the brand awareness, then really delivering kind of the meat and potatoes of the video. So the video you're talking about, Kris, Elon Musk's flamethrower versus the new iPhone XR.
Not a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower.
Very true. Very true. The reason why we did it is with the new iPhone XR, I'm sure you guys heard about the sales. It's very interesting to see how that phone's going to do. Personally, I really enjoy the phone, but I enjoy it for the reasons you almost shouldn't. It's made out of aluminum. It doesn't have the best materials, but I'm very happy with it. So what I wanted to do was do a heat test. It's not every day you get a flamethrower, or not a flamethrower, right? And I wanted to compare the iPhone XS with steel, kind of that steel unibody, to the aluminum on the iPhone XR. And what we ended up finding out was, this isn't a conclusive test, by the way, but the iPhone XR, that phone was the same one we drop tested. So the iPhone XR, from what we see, is a very durable phone, and it's really worth a chance. Survives flames.
Yeah, I think in the early days of YouTube, there was a lot of channels, including ours, that did a lot of drop tests. Durability of phones is very important. Everybody is just as clumsy as everybody else. Obviously, the shift towards glass sandwiches with glass everywhere, very thin rails. The propensity of a phone to crack or totally shatter if you drop it is huge these days. But it seems like not so many people are doing drop tests anymore. You're still doing them. We stopped doing it because we had so much backlash. People were so mad at us for breaking a brand new phone. It's like, how dare you break it? You should give it to me. So we kind of stopped doing it. It's very hard to test a drop test without reproducibility, to have that scientific, the same thing done 1,000 times to guarantee that it's legit. What's your audience's response been to the drop test?
Yeah, I really got to hand it to Android Authority. I think Android Authority and TechSmartt were really the pioneers of the drop test in the early day. The videos you might see on YouTube of someone taking a phone out of a box the same day and then just breaking it, really to find out if that phone can survive if you were to drop it. So hats off to Android Authority and my entire team. That entire video series is very difficult because the branding conversations can sometimes come to a screeching halt. You won't want to work with a channel if they break your phone, but we're just trying to provide almost real-world insight without that scientific evidence of here's what you might expect if you drop your phone. So we didn't start doing them until this year, and the reason we did it is we were fortunate enough to work with eBay, and I'm in the nationwide eBay TV commercial in the US, so it was really the campaign of them wanting us to kind of break that phone in Sydney, Australia, which is where we were for the iPhone XS this year. And it's really been the only time we've kind of stirred the pot up again. But we kind of put it to rest, I'd say, a few years ago.
Yeah, I think it's quite revealing as well. I mean, obviously, if you drop a phone once, maybe Keaton drops it in a different way to I drop it, or maybe he's unlucky and I am lucky. But I think it's still something very satisfying to see if a phone cracks the first time you drop it. And I mean, that's bad, right? And I mean, we've done drop test videos where people are unhappy with us because a phone cracks the first time. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but we dropped it and it cracked. That's not really our fault. Yeah. But I mean, you have a lot of devices that have really enhanced durability. You have military standard drop protection and stuff. So I mean, these things do need to be tested, right?
Definitely, and it's kind of almost the antics in the entertainment when you think about it. Like, if you really think about a drop test, unless you are scientifically keeping your variables precise, video over video, which some channels do, it's very difficult to find if that test is conclusive on that device. And what we found out is just by having fun with it, throwing that phone up in the air for the final drop to see if it can break, that's what audiences want to see. They want to laugh, they want to enjoy themselves while also learning something. And that's kind of the ethos of our channel. Yeah,
and I think it's a good point. I think the balance of information with entertainment is very important. Obviously, you struck a very good balance between some pretty outlandish spectacles. I remember one video included lava. You went to...
Wait, say it again. The audio is kind of hard to hear.
You dropped a phone in lava? It was a new iPhone, I think?
I think it was gallium.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but you've done a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, we've done some crazy
phones over the years. But I think if you can strike that balance between telling people information that they need to know and also something that is just a lot of fun to watch, I think that obviously helps the channel grow. It keeps people coming back. On that front, I wanted to ask, I guess reaching 1 million subscribers is a big milestone.
Likewise, too.
Thanks. If any of you guys know Peter McKinnon, he's a photographer who has a very successful YouTube channel. He's kind of legendary for reaching 1 million subscribers in 9 months, which is crazy. Most people take many, many years to get to 1 million. Did you want to tell us maybe how your channel started and how long it took to reach that milestone?
Yeah, sure. And kind of to just address your prior point, yeah, really building that audience in there where, ooh, can I get some water? But really just trying to build that sell-in where you have entertainment and then you have kind of the meat and potatoes of your vertical. That's kind of what we looked at TechSmartt. So I got started in 2010 making tech videos around the house, picked up my family's like camcorder, and I just started to check anything out that I could. It started to transgress really into going to tech events, missing high school. I would just miss as much school as I could to really be there at the foreground of innovation. So the Samsung events in New York, I was there more than I'd want to even be, but it was really fun just to kind of see technology along with much older individuals that were doing this as their profession. So outside of that, it kind of was same old for a few years. We hit our first 100,000 in 2013, 2014. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And really in 2015, it was kind of where I had 500,000 subscribers. I'd been doing this for 5 years, but I wasn't happy, and my audience didn't really have anything special. There was no meat to it. What that really came into was my most viral video, Secret Button iPhone Trick, which has 20 million views to date, and it was me sitting on a couch, very similar to this, in my pajamas while I was in college for 1 semester, and I basically just had fun. I made fun of myself. I really put that self-deprecation on the camera for once, and that wasn't something I had done. I'd always tried to act older, I'd always tried to be cooler than I was, but really when I just kind of laughed at myself and had fun, the YouTube magic sparked up something, and it provided me enough revenue to actually forego university entirely, and I was able to move out to Los Angeles when I was 18. So really from there onwards, I hit my first 1 million subscribers in June of 2016 at VidCon, if you guys know VidCon. And really from there, it's been pioneering, I think, branded content alongside with an audience into more serialized programming like we have with Mystery Box with eBay or Wish Busters by Wish. So really taking that TV network style approach and kind of placing it on a younger audience. I mean, we have the youngest audience in tech, and they love it for a reason. Brands really want to find that new generation, and we like to think we're on the pulse of it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on, I guess, the increasing professionalization of YouTube? Back in the early days, most of the tech reviews that you would see would be essentially a webcam. It would be a really, really bad webcam and just a guy sitting there in earnest talking about tech, probably exactly what you had on your channel right at the beginning. But as time progressed and things got more competitive, everyone got better cameras, everyone became better editors, they got better music, and it became quite competitive. But I feel like now that the general standard of tech reviews is really high. Everybody is a very good videographer, very good editor, very good storyteller. Do you think that contributes to this idea that tech reviews are all sort of the same? I mean, the phones are largely becoming more and more the same as well, so it's harder to find something truly unique to say about a product when it's much the same as the last one and the next one. Well, how do you feel about sameness and the general quality of YouTube tech videos?
I think that's kind of where I ran into an issue kind of starting along the likes of Unbox Therapy, MKBHD, the grades of tech that some of you might even know. Where it really struck me was, how do I be different and how do I just enjoy this? I was spending hours upon hours trying to get that perfect slider shot when in reality, audiences just want to see the product and how it works. And it's different strokes for different folks. If you're there to watch a beautiful video, you're going to get that for sure. But if you're there to really enjoy yourself, learn something along the way, and yeah, if it's a little rough, who cares? There's also an audience for that. So I think for me personally, it was just doing what felt natural and what was in my skill set. And I can tell you, Kris, like after trying to do those camera angles, I'd spend more time on the camera work than I would actually vocalizing my opinion. And like, I just felt that was kind of backwards, and I respect anyone that does the former over the latter, and it's, I don't know, I really think it's audience driven. So everything does look the same. I think that's really a compliment to the generation and how detail oriented the younger minds are having to be in order to compete. But really when you kind of go left instead of going right or vice versa, you kind of almost find, I think, some interesting content.
Yeah, I think the authenticity of how you approach the product. If you're confused, you spend a week with a phone and you have no idea what to say. You don't know what's unique, what's spectacular, and you actually just sit down in front of a camera and say, I don't know what to say about this thing. It is what it is. It's fine. And that doesn't always make people happy, but sometimes that's the reality, right? You can cover that up with some sexy video and some nice B-roll and stuff. But I think sometimes a product is just okay. And even being able to say that is quite compelling as well. I guess the next thing I wanted to ask you was about just the idea of unboxing. It seems like such a bizarre topic to be as popular as it is. I mean, you take a phone out of a box or any other product out of a box and you see what else is in there. But it's pretty much always the same stuff. There's a charging cable and some wires and some paperwork. Why do you think unboxings are such a compelling thing that so many people still want to see on YouTube?
I think kind of in the unboxing segment, if some of you were there, it's really that vicarious effect of wanting to buy a product, but not knowing what to expect, but willing to put your time in jeopardy to find out what you're going to get before you get it. I think really with unboxings, it's almost the experience on what that box has to show that makes a creator's video separate from the consumer packaging. But really, I think the whole unboxing trend is not on its way out. I just think it's really saturated. Like everyone knows what's going to be inside of a phone box, unless there are surprises. But I don't think we're going to see golden tickets anytime soon. Yeah,
I mean, you do get some nice surprises sometimes. You get additional chargers. The last phone I unboxed actually had a fast charger, which normally a lot of companies sell for between $50 and $100, and there was a fast wireless charger in the box, which that was nice. That was definitely a surprise. Yeah, and that's a pretty big deal. Where do you think YouTube tech videos are going? If we're at the high point now where the general standard is very high, the devices are all starting to converge at a very high price point, but also it's hard to spend $1,000 on a phone that's not fantastic anymore. Where do you think the next frontier for tech videos on YouTube are?
I think it's going to become very segregated in the sense that, and this is how we look at it at our media group. TechSmartt is our channel that I got started with. KKMG is our media group, Keaton Keller media group. We look at it in two separate ways. You're going to have your personalities that will always exist, and then you're going to kind of have those ancillary content buckets where if you want to go subscribe to see Apple, you know exactly where to get it. I think the sense of variety will really phase itself out to personal opinions where back in my day we could post 7 videos a week and get away with it. Now it's really 1 or 2 and you really have to put everything in it because you should. It's your audience's time and the entire platform is oversaturated. So I would say it's almost personality-styled content and then really topic-driven. Apple, Android, PC, Mac, whatever you're into.
Yeah, I've always thought that tech reviews are kind of like the film critic in your favorite newspaper. They all see the same things, and then you kind of, you read them all and you align yourself with the person that kind of sees the world the same way that you do. And you know that if they like something, that you will probably like it too. And I think that's probably the same sort of thing we see with tech reviews. You don't always agree with people, but eventually over time, someone will agree with most of your opinions, and you'll know that when they say something is good or bad, it probably is according to you as well. I guess we're starting to run out of time here. I wanted to ask you one other question. Obviously, running a tech channel means you travel the world, you get access to the coolest devices ahead of anyone else. What would you say is your favorite thing about running a successful YouTube channel?
I feel like that's really difficult to answer, and I'm going to get a lot of angry emails from brands that are like, we only sent you the one.
Yeah.
So I would say the coolest thing I've had a chance to check out would be either Segway's new W1s, where they're literally hover shoes. Those are really cool. And then in lieu of shoes, Pizza Hut shoes. Pizza Hut made shoes, in case you guys didn't know, for March Madness, the basketball tournament in the States, where 64 teams go head-to-head and compete on the college NCAA level. Those are amazing because they made 2 pairs. They made one in 2017 and became successful. So they made a pair in 2018, and the whole premise is you press the tongue and it orders pizza to your GPS location. So the fun stuff, right? The stuff you laugh at, call stupid, but as a viewer, you're not going to buy it yourself, but you will watch it, hopefully.
Okay, so as a tech reviewer, what is the question you get asked the most often?
Can I have an iPhone?
Yeah.
It's, I would say it's that, or here's why I want to be a YouTuber. Just some very inspirational stuff, and you see it in your audience's comments, and since I have a lot of younger fans, it's almost them wanting to become YouTubers and seeing you as their hero, and it's this really awesome power of responsibility where you don't just see tech, but you see your fans wanting to make their own content too.
Well, okay, on that note, what would your advice be to anyone in your audience or in this audience that is thinking about or even has a smaller YouTube channel at the moment? What would your advice be to anyone thinking about or starting out on their own YouTube channel?
I think the only piece of advice that I still struggle with is consistency. You won't be able to build this into anything if you can't maintain a schedule. Make a schedule that fits your schedule. Don't try to kill yourself. Don't do 7 videos a week. You're only going to burn yourself out. Do something that you can grow with and kind of track that progress. And I think that's really it. Anyone can be a creator. If you maintain that consistency, the algorithm will recognize your channel and go ahead and provide further success. It's that linear.
All right. We are just about out of time, so I guess I wanted to say thank you very much for your time.
Likewise. Thank you, Chris.
I will see you again tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow, too.
All right, and thank you guys for joining us all day today. There's been a lot of unboxings. It's been a lot of fun. You can join us on Center Stage tomorrow at 11. A few of us will be up there unboxing some other products as well, so it should be pretty fun. So please do join us, and thank you again for coming.